Central Bank orders banks to sell excess dollars as BDC operators close businesses in Abuja. PDP governors call for creation of state police to curb growing insecurity. Many fear death in Imo tanker explosion. And on the foreign scene, Burkina Faso defends ECOWAS exit. Hello there and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. We begin tonight's bulletin with issues around the economy as the demand for US dollars remain high in Nigeria due to the country's dependence on imported goods for various economic activities. Our stakeholders say the surge in demand is in contrast with the dwindling supply of dollars. Now, while this has prompted the parallel segment of the market in Abuja to down tools, the CBN has ordered commercial banks to sell the excess dollar stock. Yusuf Akogu reports.
Nigeria's forex crisis may have taken a new dimension following the decision of BDC's operators in Abuja to close shops due to illiquidity in the market. The union also cited online transactions and perceived sharp practices within the cryptocurrency market as reasons for dollar scarcity.
Zone 4 is a popular black market where foreign currencies are sourced in Abuja. Operators here are lamenting that the crisis in the FX market has not only affected their businesses, but is causing more pain and misery among Nigerians.
We don't control price. We don't tell people how to sell or how to buy. Market always sells itself. But the main factor, the main reason that why we want to show we are not with that, we are not supporting the very high price movement of this dollar naira difference. We just want to show the whole world that we're not happy.
With the naira trading at an all-time low against the US dollar, assurances by the CBN governor Yemi Cardoso that Nigerians will soon feel the positive impact of government reforms may not be resonating with the people.
In Nigeria, they carry money in Ghana must go. Money you carry like that, you don't put it even in the bank. We never recover. Because for money to recover, one, it has to be in the banking system. Two, the bank will have to invest it. Three, they have to use to create loan. Loan they create, we create employment. Employment now we generate fund because salaries will spread. When the salary get to the family go to the market, they buy product. All these things are what strengthens the naira.
He may have a good intention if his pedigree will work. But as at the time he was commissioner in Lagos, things were not like this in this country. So the new situation we find ourselves may corrupt him too.
The CBN, in an effort to address the backlog of verified foreign exchange transactions, released $500 million to various sectors barely a week after the bank paid approximately $2 billion to settle outstanding commitments across manufacturing, aviation, and petroleum sectors. The CBN also said that it has cleared all forex liabilities in the aviation industry with a final payment of over $60 million. While analysts believe that this may not impact liquidity in the system, as most of the funds are backlogs which should most likely be repatriated as capital flight, they share in the optimism that there may be light at the end of the tunnel.
They have done structural changes to the economy, removal of subsidy, removal of many things that are wrong with the economy before will create short-term difficulties.
As part of fresh measure by CBN to stabilize the forex market, the Apex Bank has directed deposit money banks to unload surplus dollars within 24 hours. Nigerians are waiting patiently to see how the CBN's latest move will impact the FX market. Yusuf Akogu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
Also, the Kano chapter of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators have reduced their operating hours due to the persistent increase in the exchange rate of foreign currencies, especially the US dollar against the naira. Now, according to the operators, the decision became necessary to ensure that market forces reduce the price of dollars, which will in effect reduce the high cost of living among Nigerians. Trust TV's Idris Jabrin reports that BDC operations now starts at noon and closes at 6 p.m. daily in Kano.
The market, it is not like before because we don't have customers like before because the price now it is very high. So the wires are very limited. We sat down and think the ways that we help government and ourselves to see that the price of dollar is stabilized. So we introduced the minimizing of hours in the market. We regulate hours from 12 to 6 o'clock, and also this give impact on it. From yesterday, the dollar it was 1,530, but today is 1,500, and expecting it will come down again.
And joining us via telephone is Aliyu Ilyas. He is an economist. Mr. Aliyu, welcome to the News Hour. Apparently, he's joining us virtually here in Abuja. So, Mr. Aliyu, first of all, the news came up that BDC operators have been gradually disappearing, here in the nation's capital. And then by extension, we saw, what's going on in Kano. So I bet the question here would be, what's the trickling effect of some of these stories that we've seen around the BDC operators and their inavailability of cash, as it may be?
Right. I think the challenges is going that direction now. But for me, I think that is quite artificial, because that they are not concentrating where they are does not mean they are still not doing business. So I don't think it actually it will be very effective as it were. But I only knew that it's just a phase. It's in the phase that they are not available, but they are still operating. And you agree with me, in a good the existence of such to large extent as it were. So for me, I think it's quite artificial. They can still do that business even right from their house.
Okay, but then again, some issues were mentioned, key upon which is structural adjustments to the economy. A major one is the removal of fuel subsidy. The inflation is up. And then again, we are seeing the impacts of all of this being, the Naira taking a serious beating against the dollar. The question for the ordinary Nigerian at this point would be, what would be the hope? Should be the expectation from the government to ensure that Nigeria is gotten out, of this situation, so they are able to afford staple food and other items that they ordinarily used to afford initially?
All right, we must go back to the root cause of this problem. I think most of our policy are premature, and they are actually embarked on in a quick manner that we don't really plan. Why do I say it's premature? Every country should, a country handler should know that two variables don't come together at the same time. Now we float the Naira and we also remove fuel subsidy. We should ordinarily know that will cause a serious problem. Perhaps a country that depends solely on importation of virtually everything and do not have the power, so shouldn't have just embarked on it. Now, the major problem is we have shortage of supply of dollars, right? And also the policy measure of willing buyer, willing seller also add to the problem. So I think we are in serious challenge in Nigeria, except CBN and the federal government as a whole bring about a very serious measure to really tame this challenge. If not, this dollar increase will continue to rise.
All right, Mr. Ali, we are seeing the impact of all of this in the short term right now. As an economist, what is your likely prediction in perhaps the near or even farther future with all of the current issues that we've been witnessing, especially with regards to the dollar? Do you foresee a time in the future, maybe not too long from now, because of Nigerians who are bearing the impact of all of this, where we see a reduction probably in the value of the Naira to the dollar? And of course, I know that at every point that the CBN governor has gotten, he always mentions forex obligations, forex obligations, forex obligations. So do you foresee a time in the future when Nigerians can finally heave a sigh of relief to say, finally, we can get on with our lives as we used to know it?
Right. In as much as our hope and as our aspiration that we should get back to where we used to be, or have a very get our Naira appreciated. However, we expect short-term plan, medium-term plan, and long-term plan from this government. Even up till now, we have not seen that short-term, medium-term plan and long-term plan. So my challenge now is that if at all we say maybe let's do this so that there will be a sacrifice over time. We have not seen increase in exportation. We have not seen increase in production. We have not seen where we are managing. We have not managed that I and E window. very well. So it's definitely, I don't see that solution in short term. Maybe in medium term, maybe we can possibly see solution. But for now, we don't have any indicator showing that we are going to have a better measure in the short term, because in short term simply means maybe within a year. And within a year, which industry are we going to jumpstart to really give us what to balance? Because we have short fall of a dollar. We have shortage of dollars. Perhaps government has gone to borrow money to really cushion this effect. We don't even know if the government has actually received that money. Government also want to pay backlog that is also contribute to the problem. Have they paid that money? These are the things that we need to know, so that we know that in the short run, this is our expectation.
Saliu Elias, economist, thank you so much for joining the news hour, and do have a good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. Also, the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum is advocating the decentralization of security to the 36 states of the country by endorsing the establishment of state police. The governors believe that creating state police forces would empower them to effectively address the issue of insecurity nationwide. While the creation of state police has faced criticism from various groups and individuals who argue that such security outfits could be misused by governors, the PDP Governors Forum emphasized the need for a decentralized approach to security to address the prevailing challenges. Ado Musa completes the report.
PDP Governors Forum made this announcement during a visit to Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State at the Government House in Jos, expressing sympathy over the recent ethno-religious conflict in Mangu that resulted in numerous casualties. Governor Bala Muhammad of Bauchi State, the chairman of the forum, led the delegation and lamented the unfortunate surge in security challenges nationwide. He emphasized that the creation of state police will serve as a complementary measure to bolster the effort of conventional security forces.
There is no dissent between the governors at the subnational level that we need to get some decentralization of the security apparatus so that we can enhance good governance by having good state police. And again, that will give us the opportunity to engage the structured security agencies to train our youth and also make sure the rules of engagement are not abused. There is no extrajudicial killings and so on and so forth. We will work in tandem with the established practice globally best known, rather than just be forced to be doing vigilante. Even as the vigilante, we are doing our best to make sure we involve the security agencies.
Governor Mutfwang, while appreciating the visit by his counterparts, said Nigerians must ensure unity for the country to tackle security challenges.
We need unity across the divides of faith, across the divides of ethnicity. If we don't achieve it, it's going to be difficult for the country to be secure. So I've always advocated that we must do our best to ensure that we rebuild trust amongst our peoples, because it is the breakdown of trust that has allowed a lot of these criminals to find hiding places amongst us. And once we perceive this as criminality and we all treat it as such, I believe that we'll have we'll see some light at the end of the tunnel.
The forum donated 100 million naira to the Plateau government to support the victims of the recent attacks in the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
At least 15 dead bodies have been recovered on Thursday morning after an attack by armed invaders on Ubogu community in Agatu local government area of Benue State. Locals said many people are still missing after the invasion of the rural village on Wednesday evening by the armed invaders who had continued attacks on the area since 2 weeks ago. A villager said they are helpless over the situation. However, Prince Inaligu Adagole Simon, who hails from the affected village, said the attackers besieged them around 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the member representing Agatu constituency in the State House of Assembly, Godwin Edo, also decried the fresh killings and said he had forwarded gory photos of dead bodies recovered to the governor and his deputy. Spokesperson of the police in Benue, Catherine Anene, said she was yet to receive information about the incident from the divisional police officer in Agatu. Meanwhile, bandits on Thursday attacked a house situated 200 meters from a military base in Pambara, Buari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. During the attack, one Aondove, said to be a director in the Federal Housing Authority, was abducted. The bandits stormed the house around 12:30 a.m. on Thursday. The kidnappers reportedly gained access through the fence. As of the time of filing this report, the army had yet to comment on the incident. This is coming days after gunmen broke into a home at Guita Community, Chikakori, Kubwa, Buari Area Council of the FCT and kidnapped two sisters. And away from that, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has called for interagency synergy among security agencies in managing post-insurgency recovery for sustained peace in the state. Governor Zulum stated this during a 3-day stakeholders engagement with the theme Sustaining Post-Conflict Recovery through Effective Peace Building and Reconciliation. The stakeholders meeting, organized in collaboration with the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation on current security challenges in the Northeast geopolitical zone, aims to chart the course for an effective conflict resolution and post-conflict recovery. The governor, who identified poverty and unemployment as the root causes of insecurity which need to be tackled, however, called on stakeholders to draft a peace-building mechanism that will avert future conflicts.
Dr. John Bonaba, spokesman, Ambassador Bill Rabata, the council that I am present this morning, Chief Executive Officer of the NEDC, Bayo Aman, representing the challenges in the Northeast geopolitical nature in this program, and the person of Professor and of the press.
Sustain by not only restoring the damages, but also dividing a very holistic and comprehensive peace-building mechanisms to prevent future conflict. This is through means that seek to identify the root causes of the conflict and address them squarely, persistently, and consistently.
The program is aimed at achieving the following: avail government the opportunity to inform the people of the Northeast geopolitical zone of its efforts, challenges, and achievements towards addressing the security challenges. C, to create a forum to consistently review the security challenges with corresponding recommendations with a view to maintaining the trust and confidence between the government and the communities.
The recovery effort in Borno State has achieved significant traction with the return of IDPs to their ancestral homes and the institutionalization of a peace-building platform to receive repentant terrorists who are willing to give up violence, who are willing to surrender in return for rehabilitation.
And the Plateau State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has spoken on the state of the party in the state after losing at the Supreme Court, which affirmed the election of Governor Caleb Mutfwang of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. The APC, while addressing members of the party secretariat in Jos on the judgment, called on them to accept the outcome of the Supreme Court in good faith. Trust TV's Adro Musa completes the report.
This is the first time the party in the state has come out to brief members since the Supreme Court delivered its judgment. Stakeholders noted that the Supreme Court, which has the final say in the governorship elections dispute, has spoken, and are strong Democrats who believe in the rule of law. The APC in the state and Nigeria at large have accepted the verdict and restrained their supporters from castigating the judiciary or making inflammatory comments for the sake of peace and stability.
I said certain clarifications you must help people. I heard people arguing here and there whether this one was wrong or this one was right. But to generally the press, I asked the question: who has seen the court judgment of the Supreme Court? Have you seen the judgment of the Supreme Court? I want to hear that answer. No. Which of the press has seen the judgment of the Supreme Court? None. All of us were in court. But the judgment of the Court of Appeal is available. That is supposed to be analysis. So when I hear people say this is correct, I am not saying the Supreme Court is wrong. The Supreme Court is right because it is the highest court of the land.
We shall continually look up to all of you for direction and advice on how to move the party forward. While we do not lay claim of infallibility as humans, we should put the past behind us and forgive if we had stepped on each other's toes. The future is greater than the past, so we should forge ahead as a united front with zeal and full of determination. To all APC members and supporters across the state, we pay special tribute to all of you for remaining loyal, supportive, and obedient, even in the face of challenges, temporary setbacks, and provocations. Let me assure you that we shall emerge stronger.
The meeting has in attendance the APC governorship candidate, Denta Wilwadat, and his running mate, Pam Botman, among others. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And still on developments in the plateau, there was drama on Thursday at the premises of the Jos Central Bank as the ruling People's Democratic Party in the state was missing from the ballot papers provided by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) for the rerun elections. The absence of the party's name was discovered during an inspection of the sensitive election materials by party officials and INEC representatives. Trust TV's Adro Musa has more.
The ballot papers displayed for the rerun at the CBN head office in Jos indicated that the PDP is not on the ballot, suggesting that the party is not participating in the elections. This development led to disagreement between members of the PDP and officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission at the inspection venue. John Akans, the State Publicity Secretary of the PDP, who was present at the inspection venue, expressed the party's dismay at the omission, stating that his party would not accept it.
You are the problem of Plateau, and we have identified you. We have identified you, the commissioner in charge from national. Let's see how you are going to conduct this election. You have been our problem on the Plateau. Sit down there, and you either go back, or you do the right thing, or let's see how the election will hold. Don't take us for granted in this country. You have been opportune to hold positions, but you are perpetrating illegalities. Is that the oath of office you've taken? Is that what the Constitution says? Let's see how you do it. You meet us in the field.
The INEC National Commissioner, Mohammed Haruna, while responding to the PDP's disagreement, explained why the party was removed from the ballot.
The chairman of INEC made it very clear that in a rerun, the disqualified party, the candidate and the party cannot participate in that election. This is an established law. The Supreme Court had ruled about this in Labour versus INEC several years ago. And PDP in particular was a beneficiary of this several years ago, in many cases like this. So this was made clear. INEC is a law-abiding institution. We never ever flout anyone. As soon as these things happened, that's why we called, as I told you, we called a meeting of political parties. They will all testify. The chairman, all the parties were there at that meeting in our head office, and we made this very clear. So, if the court, the PDP went to a court in Abuja, and the Federal High Court declined jurisdiction. So what that means is that the ruling by the Court of Appeal subsists.
The State Inter-Party Advisory Council, while responding to the development, vowed that all political parties in the state will boycott the exercise if the PDP is not included on the ballot.
It's either all parties participate in the elections or all parties will not participate in the elections. Because at the appeal court, the court said all parties to participate in the rerun elections. So we understand that one of us is not on the ballot paper. We therefore sat down as Inter-Party Advisory Council, all the political party chairmen on the plateau. We agreed that an injury to one is an injury to all. Therefore, If PDP is not participating, no political party is going to participate in the forthcoming elections on Saturday.
INEC is conducting court-order rerun elections for the Jos North Senatorial District and Jos North Basa Federal Constituency on February 3rd. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Also, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Nigerian police have assured of the safety of election materials and the electorate in Bauchi during the stage rerun poll scheduled to take place in the 3 affected local government areas. They gave the assurance while distributing sensitive materials to designated wards in the 42 affected polling units where elections are to be held. Trust TV's Adamu Imam sent in this report.
At the distribution of the sensitive material held at the state branch of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, for the conduct of scheduled State House of Assembly elections in the state, the electoral body, the police, and other security agents are sure of their determination to deal with challenges associated with the rerun in affected areas.
The materials are going to be moved directly to the areas they are supposed to spend the night. They are going to, that of Ningi is going straight to Ningi from here, and that of Bauchi is going to Bauchi. Those materials meant for Katagum are going straight to Katagum from this spot.
The interest that we have at mind is the interest of the Nigerian state and the Bauchi state in particular. So we should try as much as possible to maintain calmness, and we ensure we provide the necessary atmosphere security-wise.
The distribution exercise took place was witnessed by a representative of political parties and the media as a way of ensuring transparency at all stages of the elections. INEC has displayed the materials for all to see, and we are satisfied for now. We are confident that justice will prevail at the end of this contest. I am also optimistic that my party will emerge victorious.
And today we are witnessing and making observations with regards to the distribution of sensitive and non-sensitive materials to be delivered to respective polling units or to the respective local governments.
Very satisfied for now, because everything is done is transparent, and we assumed it will go the same way up to the polling units. So we are okay.
The police used the opportunity to advise youth not to allow politicians to use them to cause confusion during the rerun exercise, as enough security personnel will be deployed to all areas. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Retired immigration workers smile to the bank after verification process. This and of course many more stories after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the headlines again. Central Bank orders banks to sell excess dollars as BDC operators close businesses in Abuja. Also, PDP governors call for creation of state police to curb growing insecurity. And 2 other stories now. Many are feared to have lost their lives in a tragic incident in Imo State where a tanker suspected to be used by oil bunkers exploded in the forest of Obiti or Haji Egbema local government area. The incident, which occurred at Indorama pipeline within the Obiti rubber estate, resulted in many people getting burnt beyond recognition. According to an eyewitness in a viral social media video, vandals attempted to vandalize the pipeline's right of way. The suspects, driving a tanker believed to be involved in illegal bunkering, dug deep into the ground, located the pipeline and tapped and emptied oil into the parked tanker inside the bush. Confirming the incident, Imo State Police Public Relations Officer Henry Okoye announced that the command had initiated an investigation to uncover the immediate cause of the incident and apprehend those involved. Aisha Saliu earlier spoke with Trust TV's Ajibade Praise, and he shared this update on the incident.
But then a lot of persons escaped the scene with a lot of injuries, and they are taking treatment in various hospitals across the state. It's actually a sad situation, very sad situation. It is indeed. Imo is mourning, especially that community where it happened. Hajegbema, they are mourning as well. This incident keeps reoccurring almost every year. We had similar case last year where we lost about 105 persons in a similar situation where people go into illegal mining of oil. They go vandalizing pipelines and trying to scoop the petroleum products to sell so they could get some money for themselves. And while doing some of these things, sometimes mistakes happen, and the whole place gets engulfed in fire, and people die a lot. Similar thing is what played out this time around. At some point they were there, parked the tanker, and they were able to pass the hose down to the pipeline that they've already vandalized, and trying to pass the product from there to the tank they packed. But then an argument ensued between the two, a kind of two rivalry group. This one want to take hold of the site, another want to say no, this is my territory. At some point there was a gunshot, and this gunshot was actually what triggered the fire, and the rest is bitter stories. The economy is biting hard on everyone, and people are becoming so desperate this time around to make money at all costs. People are going into doing so many things, engaging their life, but then it's still not, enough to say you want to give up, you want to die in a miserable way just because you want to make money. That shouldn't be the way to go. But you see Imo youths, especially those of the oil-producing community, these are the kind of activities they engage in. Government with time, time after time have tried to educate, sensitize, and as well, bring in security personnel to curtail this menace. But you see it happening again and again. It's a sad one, but that is the reality as we speak now in Imo State.
And in the nation's capital, the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has officially flagged off the construction of a 9-kilometer road from Paikonkore to Ibua in Gwagwalada Area Council of the territory. The flag off is part of the ongoing infrastructure transformation focusing on construction in rural roads across the territory. Habibat Ajayi brings us more on the details.
Coming barely 1 week after the ministers town hall meetings in all 6 area councils to address the escalating insecurity in Abuja, Wike says the primary goal is to eradicate potential hideouts for bandits and kidnappers, thereby supporting the effort of security personnel in apprehending criminals. The contract for the 9-kilometer road was awarded to Setraco, with the managing director emphasizing the need for enhanced security throughout the project's completion.
We hereby pledge to carry out the project according to specifications and finish it in the stipulated time. As we thank you, Your Excellency, for your trust and confidence in Setraco Nigeria Limited.
The chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council expressed gratitude to the minister for responding to the community's needs.
Appreciating you, as this is the first minister that has taken care for the communities. We have many years ago that ministers have come, they concentrate on the urban area, they don't care with the rural areas. Now we can see a difference. We are taking care with the villages we have in the FCT.
Minister Wike, while affirming his commitment to improving security and the socio-economic well-being, promised additional infrastructure initiatives for the rural population.
And let me say that apart from this, we are giving 2 projects to this year. In a nutshell, for this year alone,
Three river roads that constructed by the administration of Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And the same thing will happen to the other South Area Council.
The progress, according to stakeholders, is a testament to government's resolve to create lasting positive change for its citizens. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And the federal government has assured that it will complete ongoing repair work on the 3 major bridges in Lagos to improve commuting between Lagos mainland and the island. Minister of Works David Umahi gave the assurance while inspecting the lagoon sections of the bridges to assess the level of ongoing work. Here's the report.
The federal government in the penultimate week shut down the Lagos Island section of the 3rd mainland bridge for comprehensive repair of the bridge, which is the longest bridge connecting the Lagos mainland and the island. Over the years, the bridge has undergone staggered maintenance works, raising concerns among commuters and users of the bridge. In addition to the ongoing surface work on the 3rd mainland bridge, the underdecks and the bearings of the bridge are undergoing repairs following years of neglect and unauthorized activities under the bridges. After inspecting the lagoon sections, the ministers went on land to inspect the underdeck of Carter Bridge and Ijora section of Eko Bridge. They later inspected the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and the ongoing rehabilitation of the flyover at Loto Junction. Umahi said he has decided to inspect the bridge alongside his counterpart in the Finance Ministry to have first-hand knowledge of the bridge and the cost implications.
Work and do it. The man standing here with me is our boss. It's his problem to bring the money. So he may not talk about the money, he may not make commitment, but still is believing, and he has taken pictures of this critical infrastructure. And that is his job, to go around the projects that he is funding, and this is the first of his kind, because the coordinating minister of the economy, it's not just to give out money, he has to see what the money is going for. He can stop a project to say, look, I'm not satisfied with this. So he's the man in charge of the entire economy. If he feels that this shoreline, if he collapses, that he's going to spend like $1 trillion to reset it, then it's up to him. But mine is to show him the problems, and his own is to look for the money.
And when we talk about roads and bridges and highways, we are talking about the basic infrastructure that you need to get the economy growing again. So we have to find the money. We will find the money. There has been a change in the finances of Nigeria. Some of the things that are going to come out as benefits are not yet apparent, and quite a lot of the pain is. And these are transition steps that are being taken. But at the end of the day, we can look forward with confidence to a bright future, beginning with restoration of economic growth, of jobs, of reduction in poverty.
Sites from Lagos there. The need for the federal government to deploy more effective strategies to contain the attacks by criminal elements on innocent Nigerians across the country has again been stressed. A security expert, Major Bashir Galma, retired, who stated in an interview with Trust TV, cited lack of coordination among security agencies as one of the factors responsible for the lingering insecurity in Nigeria. Take a look.
Insurgency, banditry and kidnapping have ravaged many communities in the north and other parts of Nigeria as a whole. Although the country has been battling with these challenges for over a decade now, the recent renewed attacks by criminals in the country, including Abuja, has raised concerns about the nation's ability to fight insecurity in the country.
The tempo has gone up, the rate has gone up because much serious attention that we'll be calling that should be paid to it. It did not seem to be coming until when this very matter was recently, or not just some few days ago or few weeks ago, has been seen to be inching towards the seat of power.
Galma says only coordinated engagement by the security agencies can improve security in the country.
You can't just sit down in a place to keep on waiting until when you hear that there is an attack in the place. Before you reach the place, the attack has gone. Why won't you become the attacking force yourself? We have been calling about that.
He also believes that the conditioning of Nigeria's border is causing more havoc than good.
So where are the sources of this ammunition? Are we going to sit down and keep on lamenting that they are being brought from outside the country? No. To stop the ones you are thinking that are coming in is to increase our border surveillance and intelligence collection.
According to Galma, equipping security personnel and ensuring better coordination among the service chiefs will help curb insecurity in Nigeria. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And over 2,000 disengaged and retired officers of the Nigeria Immigration Service may finally receive their retirement benefits following an ongoing verification exercise taking place in Kano. Well, Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that thousands of immigration officers who were either retired or downsized have not received their benefits nearly 18 years after they left service. Here's his report.
Nearly 18 years since they were disengaged, these former officers of the Nigeria Immigration Service may finally get their work benefits.
1,330 were downsized in 2007. But by the grace of God, last month on the 5th or so, we started with Lagos for the verification. We went to Asaba. Then from Asaba, we went to Enugu. From Enugu, we went to Gombe. So now is the turn of Kano State.
All from Nigeria's northwest region. These people are here to be verified and screened as part of the federal government's resolve to pay them their benefits.
Recall in 2006 and 7, a certain number of public servants were right-sized as a result of the reform initiatives of federal government of Nigeria, which is being driven by my agency, the Bureau of Public Service Reforms. A number of them were not able to get paid for their benefits, and some have been paid but not fully. There are cases of omission and shortage in payments. Now we have deepened the process of discussion with government, and government had approved that we commence this process where we verify, and immediately the verification is done, we'll proceed to pay them their benefits.
According to the Comptroller of the Nigeria Immigration Service, this exercise will give them the opportunity to identify the affected officers so that they can be given their benefits.
You'll agree with me that in a very long time, we've not witnessed anything like this. In fact, to me, this is the first time I'm witnessing this. For officers of a service, of an agency who were retired prematurely, for them to receive this affection, this consideration by the federal government. So you'll agree with me, again, that as soon as this exercise is over, their dues will be paid.
Under Nigeria's Bureau of Public Service Reform, this exercise has since been carried out across all geopolitical zones of the country with the aim of verifying the affected officers across the country. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's now join Yusuf Akogu, who is standing by for the business news.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. Lagos Inland Revenue Service has extended the filing of employers' annual tax returns by 1 week starting today. The decision was because of the downtime experienced on the e-tax portal of the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. Executive Chairman of LIRS Ayodele Suberu, who conveyed the extension in a public notice, said the filing of annual tax returns by companies expire on January 31st of each fiscal year and attract stiff penalties for defaulters. Suberu urged employers of labor to take full advantage of the extension to perform their civic obligation to avoid penalties and sanctions outlined in Section 813 of the Personal Income Tax Amendment Act 2011. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has predicted a decline in Nigeria's inflation rate to 23% in 2024 and 15.5% in 2025. IMF Division Chief of Research Department, Daniel Leye, disclosed this at the Fund World Economic Outlook Update Conference. Nigeria inflation rate stood at 28.92% as of December 2023 and has been on the rise for 11 consecutive months. Leye said one of the drivers of inflation is the weak naira following ongoing reforms by the financial regulator. According to Leye, while the monetary tightening to conquer inflation is ongoing, Nigeria should prioritize revenue mobilization and widen its tax base to provide social support. Leye also added that the monetary tightening stance of the Apex Bank will help reduce inflation rates. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, has proposed the removal of electricity subsidy for effective utilizations of the energy in the country. The minister disclosed this on Wednesday when he visited the 750-megawatt Olorun Shogo power generating plant in Ogun State and the 500-megawatt Omotosho generating plant in Ondo State as part of his nationwide inspection visit to power installation of the federal government. Adelabo said the poor power supply situation in the country is caused by numerous issues, including outstanding subsidy debt. He advocated that Nigeria should migrate to a full cost-reflective tariff regime if the federal government cannot pay for subsidy owed to the markets. Rising food prices have continued to put pressure on various households in Nigeria. Here are details of today's food price commodities. Now to the FX market. Naira appreciates at the parallel market on Thursday. This follows the CBN directive to DBMs to sell excess dollars and, of course, the BDC's concern over rising value of the US dollar against the Naira. Let's see how. Now to the NJX now. Equities market returned to the familiar territory on Thursday after 2 days in BS as domestic investors rebalance their portfolios. Let's see how it all went down. Today we'll begin with the gaining equities. Jitco Guaranteed Trust Bank, very popular bank, they're gaining 10%. Sham PLC also recording another 10% gain as well. And of course, Cavitin Helicopter 10. Well, today, of course, if you look at the top trading equities, we have the like of Universal Insurance, 113.757 million shares. Transcorp also 1.05 million shares it traded, and of course Zenith Bank also 74.316 million volume of its shares were traded as well. Of course, as usual, we have some stocks that didn't do well today. Topping the table, we have Deep Cap down 9.88%, Computer Warehouse Group down 9.87%, and of course RT Briscoe down 9.86% as well. So these are the highlights of the stock trading assets. We went down this Thursday on the floor of the Nigerian capital market. Let's look at the stock market in Africa and the rest of the world. And finally, in business, oil price rose on Thursday as traders weigh risk from potential U.S. retaliation to a deadly attack in Jordan against signs of a robust supplies. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $81 per barrel. For the oil basket, price drops to $82 per barrel. And that's a wrap in business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
Thanks to Yusuf Akogu for business. And on the international scene, authorities in Burkina Faso have defended the country's decision to exit the regional bloc ECOWAS. In a statement on Thursday, Premier Minister Apollonia Joachim Kellem Ditambela said the country believes ECOWAS doesn't meet the aspirations of the Sahelian in the face of the numerous destabilization attempts the country has encountered. On January 28th, Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger took the historic decision to withdraw from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS.
The organization has become a technocratic tool, which ultimately deviated from the legitimate aspirations of the West African peoples. For proof, we have noted ECOWAS's indifference when our valiant peoples were massacred, or as our fellow citizens endure humanitarian crises, or in the face of the numerous destabilization attempts our states have encountered. Burkina Faso says it has notified the 15-nation bloc of its decision and calls on the population to mobilize in support of the move in the coming days.
Let's now join Adeni Ajishafe, who's standing by with sports news.
Chief of Army Staff Spikers of Zaria,
and Refiners Volleyball Club of Onitsha took their craft to another level on day 3 at the ongoing Yenagoa Invitational Volleyball Challenge in Bayelsa State. The challenge, with 51 competing teams, has 25 male teams and 26 female clubs jostling for the grand prize. The teams are competing at 2 venues in Yenagoa. The first match, decided at the Peace Park, saw Yelwa Volleyball Club beating Edo Storm 2-0, while Heartland of Owerri lost 1-2 to City Gate. In the women's category, Calabar-based Canaan Volleyball Club 2 Trailblazers to the Cleaners with a 0-0 victory, while Chief of Army Style Spikers beat Refiners 2-1, 25-22, 22-25, 15-10. And Scorpion Spikers, on the other hand, recorded a 2-0 win over Benue Academy. And in football, Super Eagles coach Jose Pizarro has warned that any player who flouts camp rules will be expelled from the ongoing African Cup of Nations AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. Nigeria will trade tackles with Angola in the quarterfinal of the 2023 AFCON and wants the players to maintain discipline exhibited since the commencement of the competition. The Portuguese tactician warned the Super Eagles stars not to be late to team meetings or pick telephone calls during meetings, entertain female visitors, and also obey team curfews with bedtime set at 11 p.m. Pizarro is just a game away from reaching the target semi-final set for him by NFF to get a new contract. On Friday, the Super Eagles will hope to reach the semi-final of the 2023 AFCON by flying past the Dark Horses of Angola. In 8 head-to-head meetings, Nigeria have won 3 and drawn 5 matches against the Palancas Negras of Angola. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And that wraps up the news hour on Trust TV. Do also follow us across all of our social platforms and also join our live stream on YouTube for more news, programs and documentaries. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Have a good night.